Hi, so we are doing a collective reading regarding shadow. And the question that was asked was, what shadow aspects do we need to be aware of right now? What are the darker aspects of our consciousness right now that we really need to integrate? So if you are on this path of enlightenment, right? Of an enlightenment to me is really just bringing light to things, expanding awareness. If you're on this path of expanding your own awareness, and it is a path also, I feel, of unity and oneness. I feel like the expansion really comes from the understanding that we are all one. We're not separate. And so if you're on this path, you really understand duality and the necessity of bringing duality into oneness. Okay, that is the path to deeper awareness. And so a lot of times, I think we get lost in this idea, especially in the beginning of the path. We get lost in the idea that our darkness is something to be eliminated or repressed, or and so people will say, oh, love and light, which is great. Yes, we want love and light, but we have to also recognize that we need to bring that love and light to our own shadows, because none of us are free from our own darkness that we carry within ourselves as well. Okay. I don't even think that, some yogi somewhere is, free from shadow as well, right? Because we are one, the darkness that we see in the world, it exists in us as well. It is still ours as well, right? So we can pick up on it sometimes and we can hold it sometimes. And so this is a reading about shadow integration. Like, what is the shadow that we need to be aware of and integrate into our light, in order to come to a place of greater unity and greater awareness, and thus greater expansion. Okay. And so this deck is called the Deviant Moon Tarot. It's a deck that I pull out when I'm kind of looking for the darker energies, because if you can see, I'm sure you can see here that the imagery in this deck is very dark. It's beautiful, but it is also very dark. Okay, so we're starting with the Death card, right? And I actually really love the energy of death, because it is always combined with rebirth. When one door closes, another door opens, right? That is the cycle of life. That is a universal law that, energy is just, it's recycled, right? So when one thing moves out, it is recycled into, something else. And it, it's always present. It's always just kind of recycling. So this particular death card, this child is actually wanting to climb back up into the womb, back up into that safe space. And I'm really seeing like the womb here. If you know, there's a little bit of glow behind the womb. And the womb is like the oneness. The womb is the one, the all that is, that holds us in the safety and the knowing of our divine light, of our divinity. And so I feel like as a collective, things are pretty heavy right now. And this is definitely indicated by this polluted beach that, that death is standing on here. You see the factories in the background and all of the pollution coming out of the factory stacks. And I feel like that's very representative of how the collective may be feeling right now, as far as all of this, shizit that is being, expelled out into the universe, out into the world, right? There's a lot of stuff going on right now that is like, whoa, what is all of this crap being put out there? What is all of that? And, you know, there is a feeling of wanting to climb back into a safe place where you don't have to deal with any of it. And it feels a little hopeless sometimes, right? If our only desire is to retreat into a safe place, and we don't want to confront all of the junk that is out there, that's a heavy feeling. It can be a place of hopelessness sometimes, right? Of feeling like we have no control over it, so why bother? But I feel like the Magician here really tells us that, wait a minute, we want to climb back into the womb of the all that is, to be safe and to be held. But the womb is the place of creation. It is where new life is born, right? And the Magician is also a card of new life, because it is about bringing energies down from the ethers and bringing it into the physical, manifesting it into the physical. That is the Magician. And the Magician tells us that we all have that power. We all have that power of creation. And in that sense, we are all like just really mirroring the divine womb, by knowing our own divinity in the Magician, right? So we want to climb back into this safe space of the creative womb, but we're already there. And that is something that we have to really realize. That is the transmutation of the dark into light, or bringing awareness, bringing the light to the dark, right? Bringing that awareness forward. And that awareness is that we are all created of the divine. We are extensions of the divine. We are extensions of the all that is womb, that womb of creation. And our job is not to try and hide away somewhere in it, but rather to realize it here in this third dimensional reality. Realize the divinity of creation here in earth, on earth, okay? And so, as above, so below, right? Whatever are the rules and the laws of, the universal realms, they are the laws that apply here as well, okay? So a little bit of a heavy concept, but I really do believe that it's necessary, right? What is this shadow that wants to be known is that we can't hide away from whatever perceived darkness we are seeing in the world. We cannot climb back into the womb, because now we're already here in this space of, we now have our own divine womb, right? That's how creation and expansion works. The universe is always expanding, okay? So we are here in this space now of our own creative womb. And so instead of trying to get back into this place of being in the womb, we are actually the womb itself. And that is evidenced by the Magician. So we need to create the light that we want to see, right? That's what it is. So if this darkness here, if you want to bring light to this darkness, then we need to use our creative energies, our divine creative energies, to expand that light into the darkness that we may feel is very much present in the world. And the Magician is saying we're perfectly capable of doing that. We have all of the tools to do that. Okay, so you can look at it in another way of like consciousness. The energy of consciousness is inherently expansive. And so what consciousness do we want to hold, right? Do we want to hold a consciousness of running away and escaping? Or do we want to hold a consciousness of bringing light to the world, bringing light and creation in a way that is contagious. Yeah. Okay. So how do we do that? We have to plant seeds. And this is really interesting because the Knight of Pentacles, I just did a previous reading, and the Knight of Pentacles came in with the Six of Wands. And so now the Knight of Pentacles is coming in with the Six of Cups. But the Six of Cups was also present. So I feel like the Knight of Pentacles is this, it's a very slow energy, right? It's very slow moving. And I feel like this guy is showing up here in a wheelchair. It's a very, interesting kind of wheelchair, but there's all this power behind him. Like there's all this steam energy ready to move this wheelchair forward, but it's being blocked a little bit because it's like the message is like, wait, go slow. Don't rush for it. I know you have all of this energy, but like be patient. Be patient. That is the message. Be patient and take your time, because when you are in a place of creation, you have to be very cognizant and aware of what it is that you're actually creating. And if you're in a space of like immediate gratification, what is it actually that you are putting out there in that space of immediate gratification? Like, where's the value? Okay. So we want to be really careful about really embodying this spirit of doing things more slow, right? Taking our time, being more thoughtful about it. And I feel like the Six of Cups is really telling us like it's more about play, right? In childhood, we're very much focused on play. That's our main objective in childhood. It's play, right? And play is a very creative space as well, because we are in a place of imagination. We are in a place of creating from fun, from really light energies, light-based energies, love-based energies. Yeah, we're having fun. We're creating, we're excited, we're imaginative. When we're in that energy of play, we are also in that energy of the magician. Yeah? Okay. So the darkness really that wants to be illuminated, that wants to be known and integrated, is really moving from this place of feeling a little bit hopeless, feeling a little bit lost, into a place of feeling much more creative, much more imaginative. Okay.